Okay, recording this video after close of trade Monday 17th of March 2014. It's about 7:37 p.m. Chicago time, so it's quite a long time after close. Sorry this video is getting out late. But anyway, hope you had a good day's trading today. We didn't get the sell down that I was kind of hoping, expecting a little bit. We sat on the ledge on the Sunday evening, we jumped off and then we bounced straight back. But it's not as if today was a super strong day, so let me show you what I was seeing on my charts. We've closed at 1851, pretty weak close, 1.1 million contracts traded here. On the higher time frame tip bar charts, first of all, this was the Sunday evening move. You know, we initially fell off that ledge at kind of the 32 level. We traveled about 9 points down, Rambo pattern, we bounced straight back off there. But what I'm expecting is a proper sell move, a proper sell down. This is the exhaustion selling that got this move going, kind of selling this move down. We need a similar type pattern to mirror that exhaustion selling in order to bottom this thing out. All we've done is kind of just bounce back into this zone where, you know, support becomes resistance. And blue professional bars at the end of the day, we're breaking the lows of that in the overnight session. What was interesting was we've gone through this sequence of pullback to end of trends, rippling through the time frame. So I talk about this. Left shoulders being formed on the lower time frame with pullback to dirty end of trend. You know, it came with beautiful blue professional bars, resting sell orders, just getting short, taking profits up here with an exhaustion buy signal. Bearish divergence comes in relatively close to the zero line. We go back, we make price confirmation with pullback to dirty end of trend and a flush pattern here. So we've done everything to kind of roll over. And look at all these blue professional bars coming in at the end of the day, and we're breaking below this support kind of overnight in the overnight session. So potentially taking us into a downtrend here on the 4,500. But this is the first thing to look for, pullback to end of trend in the lower time frame. You go one time frame up to the 13,500, same deal, pullback to end of trend. You're going to see all those blue professional bars at the highs there, and they come in at the end of the day and we're breaking down through that little kind of sequence. So, you know, left shoulder is marked pullback to end of trend on the lower time frame. The head of this move is pullback to end of trend on 13,500. It's coming into cyclical resistance on 40,500. So, you know, it looks extremely weak from my perspective. So, still think we're going to give it a go, and, you know, 32 kind of on the downside is the next kind of target down where they've got to try and hold it, and then if we go through that we'll kind of go lower. So, you know, still holding out for that kind of you know, breakdown. My best trade today was a three-pointer. So I find it difficult. Let me just show you this on the 4,500. So during this move, as this thing's kind of taking off, I'm finding it difficult mentally to kind of get on board this. I didn't do anything here. Tried a long, tried a short. They were just break-even trades. Tried a long, tried a short. One was a small loss, one was a small gain. So I'm sitting on pretty much nothing after about 4 trades, and then we get a nice little setup for a long trade. So here's the picture. So we've put in this pattern of exhaustion, bearish divergence, but we've still got to work off our cyclical energy, pull back to dirty end of trend here. Rambo pattern with the amateurs getting short too early. Bullish divergence kind of comes in and we start to bounce. So we've got this in the background. We've got on the 4,500 some support and a Rambo pattern that we're coming back from. Then on the 1,500 at the same time, this is 11 in the morning, we've kind of got this sell-off move and we bounce back fairly decently from this, but this is what I'm trading into. So we get a blue professional down bar here that seems to hold. We could see the same thing on 500 tip bar chart, and we start to break up, and we know that we got to see an exhaustion pattern during the full liquidity of the day on the 1,500 tip bar chart. So we'd seen one kind of in the pre-open, but I'm looking for this during the full liquidity of the day. You know, the professionals need all of the volume, you know, to exit their kind of big positions. They'd had an exhaustion sell signal here, all driven by amateurs with Rambo patterns here, and I always say that's kind of unstable. The professionals step back in, you know, we test down here a little bit and then we kind of get going. It's not until we put in this exhaustion pattern on the 1,500 that really we can talk about, you know, changes in trend. And then, you know, by the end of the day we put in our confirmation with price, pullback to end of trend and a flush pattern. So all of that's kind of looking good. This was certainly an initial kind of exhaustion move and we came back, but it wasn't all over until we saw this exhaustion during the beginning of the day, the full liquidity of the day. But what got me interested was this blue professional down bar that holds. We start to break back up, and then when you go to the 500 tip bar chart, same time period, 11 in the morning. So we bounced off here. This is the little move. We just broken into a little bit of an uptrend. We've got strength here on the 500 tip bar chart. We come back in, blue professional down bars. We get an amateur down bar, so the amateurs are going short here, and then a little blue professional bar steps in there. Bang. So this little sequence on that little retrace, potentially we're going to go, as we did, pull back to end of trend with exhaustion patterns. So I jumped in at 50. Took it out at 53 for 3 points. I think it just touched 54, but I was quite happy with blue professional bars and exhaustion patterns, and we had a pro signal exit, I'm pretty sure, on 1500 there. Bang. That was the reason for me to get out. An exhaustion pattern on 1500 blue professional bars, professional signal exit, so that's what takes me out at 53 for just 3. So, you know, although mentally I'm like, I can't get, you know, my head around, you know, continuation of the rally early in the day, but when we get a good little, you know, support signal kind of coming in, it's got to play itself out in terms of exhaustion. You know, topping moves particularly take a long time to kind of reverse. You know, there's a good high probability trade there when the amateurs are, the professionals are picking up on that little retrace down there. So I'll tag on that. It was a quick little trade, kind of worked out very quickly, which was kind of nice. Best trade of the day. The other stuff was kind of a little bit of rats and mice. Anyway, hope your trading's going well, and again, watch for the overnight session. I don't think, you know, the downside is all kind of played out, and kind of keep with that call for the time being, because it just looks weak to me. Anyway, let's see what happens next. Okay, just gone long 50 even, checking stops and targets, and we still just noticed there's another blue professional bar here. We've still got to work out the cyclical energy on the 45, pull back to dirty end of trend. So this is looping around, it's got to go back up. 1500, we didn't have blue professional bars coming at the lows or at the highs here. They've kind of come in on this little dip down, and we're now breaking through the highs of these. So we're going to go for another run to the upside, finish this off, pull back end of trend on 500. Hopefully we'll sync up when that kind of comes through. How much past the 5150 resistance, I don't know, we're gonna go, but we need, we're just doing a little bit more testing up into the highs. So as long as we're above these blue professional bars, we still got to do that. So come on. Well, there we go, we just blasted off, probably run some stops as we're going that pullback dirty end of trend. So let's go and pull back end of trend on 500. Got exhaustion patterns, exhaustion blue professional up bars. Set targets at 54 even. Just going to leave it there. Hopefully get taken out on this next little jump up. 8,000, yeah. So yeah, we didn't get an exhaustion pattern during the full liquidity of the day. Did on 45. It's there, but not on 15. So this could be it. Just out 53 even. Just for 3, which is fine. Got close to 54, but I'm already up, so I'm happy with that. The reason for getting out, pro signal exit here. This will be a pullback to end of trend go off here. We've got bearish divergence. We've got blue professional bars kind of coming in again. So potentially into a reversal kind of opportunity, but I don't want to push it because we're underneath this previous high. Yeah, so I'll be under trend go off here, so that's good. Got some other stuff to do, but I'll keep on watching it, see what goes on next.